What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Moist Boys podcast. We're doing something a little bit different. We're doing something that's still in theaters as we speak. This isn't a 20 or 30 or 10-year-old film or series of films, or even 40, I guess now we're up to.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I guess Star Wars is our oldest episode, or oldest thing we've reviewed at this point. Not mistaken.
To date, I believe so. 77. Definitely. I don't think we've done anything.
Maybe
before.
We'll get some older stuff later on, but
yeah. Let's do Bambi. Let's do Steamboat Willie.
Let's do Song of the South.
Oh,
there it is.
Oh,
release that on Disney Plus, you cowards.
Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah. So today we're talking about a little film called Last Christmas, based on a song by George Michael, I guess.
Which, if you like the song, you'll
like the soundtrack.
You'll definitely get to hear it lots.
Yeah, the soundtrack is nothing but bangers because it's nothing but Wham. So
well, there's some
George
covers,
Michael.
Just some like George Michael.
Yeah, there's a couple little George Michaels. There's some covers of Wham.
There was so for those of you, I already said that. What I didn't say is my name, because I'm Josh.
I'm the best bro, Heather.
And I am in a constant state of depression now.
And that's Jonathan.
So yeah, we want to do
something different for us, actually.
Yeah, something we're trying something new, and if you if you want us to do more of that, head on over to our Patreon page, because
movies are expensive.
Jesus Christ.
Babysitters are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Time is money, and we ain't got enough of either one to review brand new movies that are still in theaters, or there's like I think this is the second weekend. So
is it only its second weekend?
Yeah, it came out November 8th, and I'm probably going to try to get this video or this episode put out
quickly
at some point this weekend.
Woo.
Get on that. Get on algorithm.
Welcome to our Christmas special.
Hopefully the first
last Christmas special.
I'm pitching another Christmas special.
No, get it because it's last Christmas.
Yeah, but I don't want it to. I don't want people to think we're not going to have a Christmas, but another one.
Oh no, we'll do this for you guys again.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I was going to say this is going to be different for us because we're going to do spoiler free.
Yeah, which we usually don't have to worry about, because usually things we talk about are on every streaming service or 10 plus years old.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna try to spoiler free. What, the first half?
Yeah, we'll talk about it for the first half. We'll talk about it for a little while.
How long we can talk about it without wanting to get into spoilers. We're going to tell you guys
right now that at some point we're going to have to go spoilers because
deep. That's deep.
I got some opinions. So, do we want to do overall impressions, some like Clooney's first up?
Nah, we should save the Clooney's.
Yeah, save the Clooney's.
Because I feel like if we don't save the Clooney's until the end, that's going to give away the... No, I'm not going to say it.
I think I need to talk about this movie before I know how many Clooney's I'm going to give it. Because I have...
You got to feel it out.
So
I have no idea.
So Josh, give us your spoiler-free review.
Spoiler free. So this movie, for those of you who aren't aware, it stars Emilia Clarke, Henry Golding. It co-stars and was co-written by, I'm going to say the wrong one, and I'm going to wait till hopefully someone's looking at IMDb. Emma Thompson, not Leah Thompson, which was what popped in my head, and I was like, that's not the one. That's not the one.
No, the one that I always do is Emma Watson. Still an entirely different person.
Wow, you guys are bad at this.
Real bad at this.
The great Emma Thompson.
Yeah, I will say, of the two movies of Emma Thompson's that I've seen this year, this one was the better of the two. The other one I saw was Late Show. Was
that bad? Okay, well, that's a different movie. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Talk about this one.
It was mediocre until it gets real problematic.
Oh no! Okay, well, we're talking about Last Christmas. So
so Emilia Clarke, Henry Golding, Emma Thompson.
I didn't know she co-wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Michelle Yeoh,
who's great.
Directed by Paul Feig.
Which I don't know him, but I love that the company is called Feig.
Yeah. He did Bridesmaids. He did the 2016 Ghostbusters. He directed a ton of The Office, and like he's one of those all those people. Like he's from that group.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
I don't know if that's where he got his start, but like that's one of the early things that he did.
Now, when you say The Office, you mean
The American
Office? Okay.
So overall, I will say to I said this a few minutes ago, but to kind of throw it back to our review of Slipstream, I was I was enjoying this movie for what it was up until I wasn't, and we'll have to get into the spoiler section before I can explain why. There were a few different things like going in through my head that I thought were going on, and they went with one of those things, which I kind of think was not. It would have been interesting to see if my other theory had come true. I think that would have been.
I wonder
weird.
if we had the same theories. I'm excited for the spoiler version because I had some theories too, and I was like, oh, I think this is what they're doing. I don't know.
Because I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's like a bunch of Emma Thompson subplot stuff that doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I thought they were laying some seeds,
laying some pipe.
Yeah.
Wait, is that something else?
There was some of that in here, which that was another thing that I'll probably wait till the spoiler review part to get into. Because
so what are you going to review for the people who aren't doing spoilers? What's your takeaway? What's your overall? Is this a must watch? Is this a rent? Is this a don't watch ever?
I've been thinking about this since we watched it, and here's my difficulty is I would say it's a rental, but I don't want people to wait 6 months before listening to the rest of this episode.
Yeah, that's fair.
So but I also don't want people, I think it's one of those things where it's better to watch it and then talk about it afterwards rather than being told what it is and then going to watch it, because then
yeah.
It's like
it takes the sting out of it if somebody just tells you the thing.
So
yeah.
I don't think it's worth the $13.50 or whatever much a movie is in your area.
Yeah.
Matinee this.
Yeah.
What?
Matinee
this. Yeah. If you matinee this, it might be worth it. If you basically just don't want to spend that money, like, do rent it. I definitely think it's something that you should watch. I think it's something that should be experienced
with a group of people. And then
yes.
so mainly so you can have a discussion. Yeah. I wanted to like this so much more than I think I did. I love Emilia Clarke, and I think that I love me some Emilia. And I think Henry Golding is just adorable.
I feel like this movie wastes him though.
I think he is so cute though. I'm just like, this is a very sexy, gorgeous cast that I would stare at their faces always. But I said this a little bit ago. I feel like this is a movie I would have enjoyed better with no sound. If I was allowed to make up the story in my own brain of what was happening. This is a movie I should have watched when my kid was half asleep and I couldn't have the volume very loud. Because I think I would have enjoyed my own storyline better.
That's fair.
I feel particularly done dirty by this movie because going into it, I had low expectations. It's like, oh, this is just going to be some shitty rom-com. And then about halfway through it, not even halfway through it, but like by the time the halfway mark kind of was hitting, I was coming around to it and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm on board with this movie. Like, I don't exactly know what's going to happen. I know something is going to happen, but like the cast is charming as fuck. Everybody's doing, I don't want to say everybody's doing the best with what they're given, but like that makes it sound.
But everybody was doing all right.
Everybody was doing good.
It feels very, so I went into this thinking it was I love me some shitty Christmas rom-coms. You give me
I know.
a Christmas Prince movie, and I'm about it. Like,
Or 3.
if there's Christmas happening in the background, I will watch your shitty rom-com, Hallmark and Netflix and anybody. I will watch it. I am about that. If it's a D-list cast and it has anything to do with Christmas, I'm there. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be a shitty Christmas rom-com just with A-list cast.
But like fucking Oscar nominees.
Yeah, with
like-
A-list cast. I'm about that. I can watch a shitty Christmas rom-com with an A-list cast. And I feel like, so that's not what you get. So if you're expecting a shitty rom-com Christmas movie, you want some Christmas Prince, or what is that fucking movie called?
Christmas Prince.
Yeah, okay. This is not
And
that.
Netflix doesn't have a lot of
No.
creativity in their titles.
This is not that movie. Do not expect a shitty Christmas rom-com.
I would say up until it kind of does.
No, yeah. So I would say it's very much a rom-com with Christmas in the background.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's not a Lifetime or Hallmark
No, it was
rom-com
it felt
until
like
it kind of is.
Yeah, it felt like a normal rom-com, and then suddenly it
Somewhere
wasn't.
things
like
took a
I
turn.
was like, oh, this is a regular movie. I'm watching a real movie in this movie theater, and then
That was what happened to me. It was like, oh, it's just a movie.
It's just a movie.
We're just doing movie things.
We're just doing a movie thing, and then it just like took a sharp left to Hallmark Town, and I was like, oh, that was okay.
And it hurt me because it lulled me into this false sense of security to where I thought it was just going to be a nice time and there was going to be some like weird like heartstring tuggy thing right at the end about one of them. I won't say which one I thought it was going to be about yet, and we'll get into that in spoilers.
We were talking about movies that this is like.
And we can't say which ones they're like yet because that's also
we'll
a spoiler.
That's also a spoiler.
We
But
talking about the movies at this point. I thought we were just getting a regular movie, and I was a little disappointed.
So what I will say from having watched the trailer and how much the trailer deceives you into think, because like it's just like weird triple whammy, because if you've watched the trailer you think you're getting one thing.
Yep.
And then you go into it and you realize you're not getting that thing, you're getting what's happening. And then fucking out of nowhere some dude just comes up and just fucking gut punches you. Not gut punches you, because that's like an emotional feeling.
Somebody hits you over the
Somebody
head.
just fucking teabags you from like from behind your shoulder. Just all of a sudden you just look over and there's just fucking a sack coming at your face.
You just look up and there's a teabag coming
there
at
it
you.
is.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. and it's just so not. It's just not good.
I don't
But
know.
it's not. It's
not bad.
It's not terrible.
It's not the worst movie out there.
I could understand somebody who really likes the twist. I can understand that from like a. I get it from like in my deepest, darkest parts of my like romanticizing everything, like heart of hearts. I understand why somebody would really like the end of this movie.
Someone that has a lot of maybe astrology posters and dream catchers and does a bunch of crystal stuff. Maybe
So here's my thing.
Crystal meth. You mean?
So here's my thing about the end is that had the beginning, they're just different. It's like somebody filmed the first half and then somebody filmed 3/4 of this, and then they were like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And they brought somebody in for the last fourth of the movie.
15 minutes of the movie.
They had no idea what had been filmed, and they were like, "This is the general story," and they were like, "What about this ending?" And film that. Like it. That's why. Like if they had, if the first 3/4 had been what the last fourth of it had been, then it would have been a good movie. Like it would have made sense
if they were just upfront about it.
Yeah, and if the last fourth had been like the first 3/4 of the movie, it also would have been a good movie. The problem is that you have kind of two different movies, and they don't go together. Yeah, they don't go together. It's like somebody was like, "We're just gonna use some Scotch tape right here."
Yeah.
And, no, look, it's one movie.
there's a very sharp line where the movie changes.
There is. And it's very much just like what. What?
I think also like we kind of had this discussion, and if you listen to our His Dork Materials episodes about The Mandalorian, I was kind of having some of those same kind of feelings about like the way they executed that moment too, just like in a filmmaking way, like which I'll explain. Like the execution of it was a little janky and off. And yeah, I was like, like maybe if they had pulled it off better, but they kind of just
the problem with specifically speaking for like the movie, the problem with the reveal is that there is no finesse to it.
No,
They just fucking
literally slapping you in the face.
slap you in the face with it, and it's like deal with it.
Yeah, they hit you in the face. It's like a pie to the face.
Yeah, and then it's just
then
like that's it. This is
like,
what
because it's a pie to the, it's not like they just hit you with it because then you just like it's gone and you don't have to. No, they like hit you with a pie in the face because then now you're messy and it's there and you can't get
and
it.
it's in your sinuses.
And you can't get it away from you and you're like, why am I stuck in this right now?
Yeah. It's
yeah. That's our review. Everybody's just yeah.
This is an odd fucking beast.
It's an odd duck.
It's an odd duck.
It's an odd duck. I would not say it's a bad movie.
No, I think there's too much talent on most of the sides of this for it to be bad.
Like, Jonathan, you were right. With what they were given, these actors did a great job. You know, like, this is well acted. They didn't give Henry Golding a lot of direction, I don't believe.
Or possibly too much in some moments.
It was either a director that just told him not to do anything or a director that was like, and this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Okay.
What I will say is that the movie, I'm not going to say impressed me, but like I was pleasantly surprised that I was not walking into another vehicle that had both Henry Golding and Michelle Yeoh where she was his mom.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was nice. I was 100% expecting that to be the thing. And then when it turned out...
What is this movie you're talking about?
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians.
She plays his mom in that.
You haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians?
No. Oh, it's good.
Oh, we're going to fix that. That's a great fucking movie. By the way, just go see that instead. Go watch that.
Yes, 100% go see that instead.
Go see that. That is rom-com at its finest.
Yeah. You know all of the beats and when they're going to come and they happen and it's rom-com gold.
Beautifully executed. Like, you know what's happening. Like you said, you know all the beats, but you know all the beats in a beautiful like way.
Yeah.
And it makes you cry and it's supposed to when it's supposed to, and it makes you laugh when it's supposed to, and it's great.
And the entire cast is like Asian American or just like straight up like people that were from
they're either
China
Asian. They're either Asian or they're Asian American.
Yeah.
And either way it's beautifully done.
So I mean, on the one hand, you're getting like a great amount of diversity and like a movie being put out, and then also on the other hand, in a more Moist Boys friendly terms, it's real noise to look at.
It's real noise
because it's Constance Wu.
It's fucking Constance Wu and Henry Golding and
just everybody in that movie is sexy as hell.
You get to see them smush faces, which is nice. And yeah. But Last Christmas, I can't. It's not shitty Christmas rom-com, which is what I thought I was getting, and it's not Crazy Rich Asians. It's just kind of in the middle.
It's not even in the middle. It's like its own. It's an island just out in the middle.
I think saying it's because those are two very different things. Like they're not even supposed to be on the same scale.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like if you're doing just rom-com, sure, but like you can't really compare your shitty Christmas rom-coms to your beautiful Crazy Rich Asian
like
rom-com.
Actually produced rom-com. With
like it's just it's a weird one. I dig it. I dig the weird, and I think that's the biggest takeaway right now is that it's one that's gonna go see it so you can talk about it.
I think that this is what like it might not be the better movie, but I think it's probably more interesting to talk about this than ones that are just that was pretty good, and that's kind of all you can say about it. Whereas this is like
that's why I had worries when we were also at that, like, by that halfway mark, and I was like, I'm super on board with this movie. I'm not going to have anything to say about
what
this
are we
movie.
going to talk about? Yeah.
Crap.
Like, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, she was charming and adorable. Oh, yeah, he was charming and adorable. Okay, well, that was a nice 30-minute podcast. And Josh, you said it like
15-minute at best, and that with that.
And then Josh, you said it the best. Like, we couldn't get Harley to go with us to this. And up until that point, you're like,
It's probably for the
Maybe
best.
that's for the best.
It's okay, we didn't drag Harley to this. And then it happens, and you're like, fuck, we needed somebody else. Shit, somebody needs to experience this with us. I need to find more people. I'm going to literally like just spam people and be like, have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet? Have you watched it yet? Can I talk to you about this now? Because I need to fucking talk to somebody about this shit.
I need to talk this out.
Yeah.
I will say this made me realize not people aren't using Emilia Clarke in enough stuff.
They're not.
Like,
Yeah,
I was realized
100%.
like it's this,
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, Terminator Genesis, and that's it. She did that Me Before You or whatever, but I feel like that was probably closer to
I forgot
not
she's in
great
that.
rom-com thing where
I
it's
don't know. I
like
haven't watched it yet. That is, it's because I usually, I felt like it was on this side of like good, like it's just a little north of shitty rom-coms, and I only watched the shitty ones.
I've also heard like there's some like it's another one of those like inspiration porn things where like, oh, he's in the wheelchair and that's why like, you know, like where they like fetishize like any type of. Well, I haven't read the book or seen the movie, but that's just what I've heard. People are like,
You know what?
this isn't great for the.
As our residential shitty rom-com expert, I will watch that for you.
She will take that bullet for
I will
us.
take that bullet for you guys and give you feedback on that.
For those of you who can't go to the movies but do have streaming services, I will say if you want to get your Henry Golding fix on, I know it's on Amazon. It might be on Hulu as well, but A Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively and Henry Golding is available now.
I didn't realize he was the guy in that.
Oh, Paul Feig also directed that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
interesting.
it's a completely different movie, but I will say it does also have bonkers stuff. Like by the end of it, I was like laughing, but like I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be laughing because it's like you're just like, what am I watching right now? But like, I think in a better way, like the execution I think was better than this, and yeah, like you'll think you'll know where it's going several times in the movie, but you don't.
Yeah. So overall, I would say if you're gonna watch this in theater, matinee it
With a group of people.
with a group of people,
So that you can immediately just like talk about what the hell just happened.
or have your therapist on the line.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, we paid evening prices for it, and I don't feel like I need my money back.
That's fair.
I don't.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Like, I definitely hate how much you have to pay for movies, but I wouldn't say I need my money back. But if you really can't afford to go to the movies, Redbox this when it comes out because it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I think it's not bad enough to skip entirely.
No.
I think all the performances are really good. If you like Emilia Clarke and she's not in enough stuff that you can't get to watch her all the time, it's worth that.
Yeah.
I also think it's a good conversation piece.
Yeah.
More people need to watch this so I can talk to them about it. Please watch this for me so I can talk to you about this.
The other spoiler thing I'll say about this is that I wish they had used some other songs other than just Last Christmas so much. Like by the 5th or 6th version that they play, I was like, does he not have any other songs? They play him in the movie, but for some reason
Jesus
it's like
Christ.
like he has other. I feel like he has other Christmas songs, like or any other song.
Other non-spoilery thing. There is a George Michael song that gets played that I didn't know was a George Michael song, and I actually looked at Jonathan at one point and went, is this a George Michael song? And he's like, it must be. And then
If it's in this movie, fucking probably.
And then they played the version of him singing it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, George Michael song. Okay.
Oh, is it the one that they do a couple times?
Yeah.
It's at the beginning of the movie, so it's not really a spoiler.
No.
It's like the very first scene.
It's a
Oh, it's that same song, isn't it?
It's the same song.
That's right.
But I don't know what the song is. I didn't know it. So now I'm like, do I know any George Michael songs except for that one Wham song?
Yeah. Well, they throwback to years and years ago to anybody who might have known us when we lived in Bellingham. When they used a little clip of Faith.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do use a little clip of Faith. Oh, I miss you, Yusuf. I miss you.
I will say, there are a handful of songs that they play every year in the place that I used to work, and they probably still play it every year. I will say it's probably like on the bottom 10 of the ones that they play, because I'm not a huge fan of that song.
Yeah, it's
Also, it's when you listen to like what the lyrics are, you're like, wait a minute, George Michael is like a big dumbass, because like the song is about he falls in love with someone, and then the person gives it away, and then he's like, you know what? Next year I'll give it to someone special, and you're like,
Wasn't that
wait,
first
what?
question?
This was just like some rando on the street.
Yeah.
Come on, George Michael, get some emotional intelligence over here.
got some self-worth, my dude.
It's better. I will say it's better than the Bruce Springsteen "Santa Claus is Coming to Town," because that fucking song is that might be
I'm
the
sorry.
worst Christmas
no, if we're
song
gonna
ever.
talk about the worst
Let's do it.
fucking Christmas
We're
song
doing it.
ever.
Worst Christmas songs.
My least fucking favorite Christmas song. Do they know it's Christmas time at all? Fuck you. No, they live in Africa. No, it doesn't snow in Africa very often. It does actually snow in the top of Africa. Northern Africa does get some snow. Egypt got some a couple of years ago. Fuck off. Not everybody's Christians. They celebrate Kwanzaa. They celebrate Hanukkah. They celebrate Yule. Fuck off with your Christian Catholic bullshit. Just because I celebrate Christmas does not mean everybody does. So no, maybe they don't know it's Christmas time, but they don't have to. You Western imperialist bullshitter.
This is a Happy Holidays podcast. God damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Fuck.
God, I just the whiteness of that fucking song pisses me off to no end. Where I'm just like,
I think Lionel Richie was featured on that track.
he was, yeah. Lionel Richie, you were white when you were singing this, so fuck off. Because it's just such, like, it's such a product of its time. And I know it, like, raised a bunch of money and whatever.
It was one of those things where it's like, yeah, the sentiment was good.
But
like
did you run these lyrics by fucking anybody?
Anybody?
Like, anybody. It's such a time where the entitlement of a white person was so blatantly okay.
So
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Right now?
No, because
like another
it's
issue.
less okay now to be
Yeah, that's fair.
to be
Yeah.
real blatant with your whiteness.
But like another issue of it's so finger pointy too.
It is. It
And it's
really
like,
is.
oh, like just fucking take my money. Just God, get away from me.
All right, I think that's a good place to stop for the. We're gonna have a lot more to go with the. This is the small part of the conversation where we didn't have anything to say. So, folks, buckle in. We got some places to go.
So
We're
if
gonna
you do not want spoilers, this is your cue to
pause
Jump
this
out.
episode and come back later. But yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back to spoil the shit out of this thing. And we're back. So once again, spoilers to everybody listening going
Spoiler
forward.
alert,
We're
spoiler
spoiling
alert,
everything.
spoiler alert.
It's all getting spoiled.
We are ready. The three of us have been ready to just
My body is ready to just.
bluff this all out.
Yeah.
So Heart Ghost?
Heart ghost.
Heart Ghost.
We're just gonna go straight for the heart of it, aren't we?
Yeah. So that was really funny that like earlier in the podcast when I was talking about it within my heart of hearts and you like made a face at me and I was like, I just said it without even thinking of it. I was like, oh my God. Spoiler alert, I guess.
Spoiler alert.
Fuck
So
me.
heart ghost. So Josh, we both talked about the fact that we both had ideas of where this was going.
I had an inkle. So I had two theories going throughout the movie, and I wasn't sure, just based on Henry Golding's performance, and he kept like he would be happy when she left, or he would be like really upset, but then like also like almost kind of a menacing look on his, like he was like angry too sometimes.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, he's either, because anytime you have a movie where there's a character that doesn't interact with anybody but one character, usually that's because that's a ghost.
That's
So
usually a red flag.
mine was not Ghost. Mine was Christmas Angel. I thought they were going Christmas Angel route. I thought this was going to be a Guardian Angel movie.
Attaboy, Clarence.
I know.
I mean,
like,
it was
God
kind
damn
of both.
It was kind of both. Yeah, and I definitely was like, oh, okay. They're gonna go Christmas Angel route. Like I knew he wasn't a real person about halfway through the movie. I was like, no, he's not. He's not alive. He's not a real person.
He ain't a real boy.
I am the perfect mark for this fucking movie because I did not know anything. I was like, oh my God, because like the promotional materials very much play up the fact that she was sick. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, oh, she's going to die at the end of the movie. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. What if the twist is
he dies?
He's the one who's terminal. She was sick, but is fine. Mm-hmm. And now he's the one who was like,
you can't depend on me. And then his like smile, sad smile. And I was like, that's not a fucking person. It's not a goddamn person.
So my other theory, and I only thought this because the Emma Thompson's character who plays Emilia Clarke's mother kept bringing up like the old country stuff and how they had to escape, and I was like, oh, is he going to be a KGB agent sent to kill the parents? That was my other.
I didn't even think about that angle.
And I was like, ooh, and I think that might have been.
I was wondering
would have been wackier and crazier and maybe a little bit better.
That would have been. I think as the kids would say, that would have been fucking spicy.
Spicy as fuck.
Because
I thought the mom was gonna die at one point when Emma Thompson's like curled up and she's like, "Mom," and like said something to her. She doesn't respond, and I was like, "Oh my God, the mom just fucking died!"
Right?
Like, oh, this could be bad because like the dad's gonna feel really bad, and she's gonna feel bad, and the sister is gonna be. It's gonna be a whole thing.
So for anybody who watched the movie and was wondering if the anything to do with her parents was going to have any sort of bearing on the movie, nope.
No,
not
really.
at all. I definitely they set stuff up with the mom that didn't pan out at all. Josh, you said that a little earlier, but like it did not. Nothing came of it. Like, and I definitely thought something was going to come up with her relationship with her mom.
Like, it seemed like they only did that because, and this was the other wild part too. Like, it's 2019. Mm-hmm. The movie starts in 1999 when the Emilia Clarke and her sister are children, and then it jumps to 2017. And I was like, why only 2017? But it's because they wanted to include the Brexit vote stuff.
Yeah,
but like that doesn't go anywhere either.
Yeah, for no reason.
Like, why?
Well, and I think again it was because it's a part of herself that she was denying. Yeah. Like she's trying to change her name from Katerina to Kate because she was trying to sound more British, and then it's a whole part of herself she was denying, and she had to accept all of her.
But that was like the one thing that.
Sorry, I don't know.
The eye roll.
That long pause in between that was me just eye rolling. Like just picture.
He almost fell over.
Yeah, picture the Tony Stark from Avengers gif of the eye roll, and that was me.
I don't know. Like, but that's a normal trope for rom-coms. Like
it is,
and I was like, okay, that's why like I was rolling with a lot of this. It was following a lot of tropes. It was definitely like. And it was doing the same thing Crazy Rich Asians did, where you knew where the beats were going to be. You understood what was happening. And it was following along beautifully until the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
happened.
So let's walk through this. She goes up into his apartment. Mm-hmm. She runs into the realtor who finds his cell phone in the cupboard and then hands it to her, and then that's when he tells her he's been dead for over a year.
Except for so he basically is like, no, this place hasn't been habitable. It hasn't been inhabited for a couple months. And she's like, oh shit, he's a squatter. And
Yeah.
this is when I was like, ghost, 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 no longer angel. This is a fucking ghost. And I was like, this is a just like heaven situation where he's in a coma somewhere, or he died. And then she starts having flashes, and I'm like, the hell just happened? Because at first, like, he gets hit by the bus, and I was like, okay, coma. This is gonna be just like heaven. Coma. Nope, that's dead dude. Wait, donor card. What the fuck?
Yeah. See, because the movie also
and then it's returned to me.
And then it's, basically. The movie also, I will say, does a good job of, up until that point, making you think that her operation was years ago.
I don't know. No. Because she hasn't had her job that long, and she had her operation while she had her job. Santa tells her, she's like, when you started, you were really great. You had a really good time connecting, and ever since you've been back. So she hasn't had this job for very long. You know that.
She's had it for over a year, though.
She's had her job for about a year, probably, and then she had this operation. I didn't think at all that I thought maybe like 6 months, but she also had missed the last 5 appointments.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we'll see you next month. And I was like, okay, well... So it's probably been, like, I thought like 6 months. I did not expect but he just said it's been vacant for a couple months. We don't know how long a couple months is.
Yeah. Well, a guy whose name I can't remember anymore because I'm so fucking checked out of this, died a year prior. Because this movie is taking place the next year's Christmas. Around that time.
Yeah, because he says he died last Christmas.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh.
Because he was talking about it and was like, oh, yeah, it was a young fellow died around last Christmas. And that's when the flashbacks start happening.
So yeah, I just got caught up in the flashbacks. I didn't hear that line.
And so the flashbacks thing, that's what gave me flashes of the first episode of The Mandalorian when he's like having his armor made. And you're getting like
Team.
yeah, I was getting a lot of like, ooh, this is kind of TV now again.
Yeah. So yeah, he is her heart.
So she has his heart.
So she has his heart.
Which prompted, I think, actually my favorite line of the entire movie. And it came in my like weird, disoriented, jolted feelings about it. But
Yeah.
my favorite line was, he said, take good care of my heart. Or he's holding his hand over her heart and was like, it was gonna be yours either way. And it's very much like I think he got distracted by something before he got hit by the bus. Either way, he's basically like, I would have found you and fallen in love with you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's cute. That's very typical
That's
rom-com.
rom-com. Yeah,
and like, that's the shit I eat of like nom. That's my jam on rom-com. So I was like, that was probably my favorite line of the entire movie. And I was like, yes.
See,
I just don't understand why. I actually have a theory too, and my theory is that all the other people in the garden that he
Also ghosts.
I think they're all ghosts.
100%.
I think they're all dead too.
The ones that he was like telling her about, yeah, they're all dead.
And that's
They're
why
dead.
he didn't want her to talk to him.
Yeah.
So,
Which, real quick, I will just say, him being a ghost is fine because he's
It's her
visiting her
heart,
because of her
yeah.
connection to him. Her seeing other ghosts, infinitely more stupid.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, well, maybe they're not ghosts, and maybe he didn't want her to talk to them because then she would be admitting to other people that she knew
That
things
she knew
about
because of
somebody, my friend told me, and they'd be like, what fucking
who there's no one there.
So Josh and I talked about this, and the only thing I think they could have done. So this is what I'm talking about. Is it's two different movies, right? Like they either needed to tell you that he was a ghost, like they needed to make it more obvious that he was a ghost in the beginning, or they just needed to make him like. I thought for a minute, when they were talking and he was talking to her about like. He's like, oh, I just counseled some people who went off the deep end. I was like, oh, watch him be an addict. who's recovering.
Yeah.
Because they're not supposed to be in relationships for a while. So I
Yeah.
was like, watch, he's going to be, he's going to be an addict. He's going to.
That's what I thought the twist was going to be, that like whatever the issue in the movie was going to be about him overcoming something or.
So like I thought about a lot of things, and then I don't remember where I was going with this. But that's what I thought about what the twist was going to be at a moment, but it just wasn't. Oh, so as I was saying with Josh, like, I remember my point now. They either needed to make it more obvious, which could have been really easy of like people around them noticing her talking to her fucking self and making like weird looks at each other or being like, who the fuck is this chick talking to? Or like,
that would have been too obvious, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we should have noticed. We should have known as an audience or been given small little clues.
Yes. The way you would do it is you would have somebody who is a recurring character that she runs into on the streets to or from somewhere, who is somebody from like the old country, who just like refers to her as like crazy girl or funny girl because she would walk past that person like with Tom. And so like that would just be how they refer to her, and she'd be like, oh yes, I get it, I'm crazy because I'm blah 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 whatever, and then it'd be like, no, you're crazy because you're fucking talking to nobody. And that would have been like your
I think
your
they
hint
were
character.
trying to give you hints because you never see her and him interact when anybody else is around.
Yeah.
And then nobody knew him at the other thing that kept blowing my mind too is that like 80% of this movie takes place after sundown. But everyone keeps referring to, I don't like the guy that works at the homeless shelter. It's like, I don't work nights. And I was like, motherfucker, it's night right now.
What time is it right now?
Yeah.
So it's like, how long is all of this stuff taking place in? And I know like England is, I think it's pretty close. We live in Washington State, and I think we're pretty close on the same parallel as like most of England.
So
like
it gets
sundown,
dark at
So
like
like 4
4:30.
p.m.
4:30. It sounds like
Right now.
I'm home.
So like, okay, so but still like, you have to tell us then what time. Like once the sun goes down, we're gonna assume that it's nighttime.
It's
like
nighttime.
Like my like.
Well, she's closing the store down, and like retail,
Yeah.
even small little shops like that, it's sometime between 7 and 9.
7, somewhere in there.
To when they close down.
Yeah.
Like they're not like, that's not a 5 p.m. shop. Like there's no way.
No.
That's a 5 p.m. shop. So
Yeah.
it's between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. and she's closing the shop and then going to go look for him.
Yes, my every time it's dark out, my first thought, unless they say that it's like the middle of the night, I always think, okay, it's 8 p.m.
It's like, yeah.
So it's
8
like,
to-
I don't work
yeah.
nights. I'm like, what?
Well, you're fucking working nights right now there, Tom. Not Tom, sorry. What was his name?
Daniel?
Dan.
Dan, yeah.
Who looked like a chubby wheelchair-bound Harley.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Also, what I don't understand is Dan is clearly like the head of this homeless shelter. Like that, he runs a lot of it.
Yeah.
Well, like-
he's the veteran of
And,
Yeah.
and nobody else in the movie is shown to be in charge of anything.
No. So how do you not remember a volunteer? Like, because it's pretty much insinuated that Tom volunteered a lot probably
Yeah.
there. How do you not remember that you used to have a volunteer named Tom
Who got killed.
who got killed, and she might be looking for that bro?
Yeah.
Also, nothing about her. So he, at one point, he has the line of like, "I've seen these middle class women trying to like come in here and make a difference," and I'm like, what about her makes you think she is middle class
She
right now?
looks like the homeless people that are coming in for soup.
Like she looks like hot garbage most of the time. In the beginning when she starts showing up there,
Yeah.
like she looks like trash. Like
I mean, hot trash.
hot
like,
trash.
Not
yeah.
in the way.
Not in like a like
Like
ooh,
she's a
girl,
hot mess, but like
boing.
fine.
Because
Hot.
she looks like
Emilia
Emilia Clarke.
Clarke.
Yeah,
So
she looks like a man. But she also does not look like she's in a good spot.
no.
Not at all. So him being like, "Oh, these are middle class," blah blah blah, and I'm like, that child does not look middle class right now, y'all. Like she doesn't.
One of the things that kind of bugged me about this, and it does with a lot of rom-coms, like usually the edgier ones, where you have a female character that goes out and bangs a bunch of dudes at the beginning, but then she finds the one that she's not going to have sex with until because he's the one.
I don't, and it was not from a lack of trying though. She tried to bang him.
A couple times.
Yeah.
Couple times.
But it's still that thing that a lot of like shitty rom-coms do. Where like, well, she was damaged. That's why she bangs a lot of dudes. And it's like, no, I don't think that's because like I mean, it is kind of still the thing though. Like at the beginning,
She definitely uses them to have a bed to sleep in at night.
Yeah.
That's why
the first one, the second one,
she sleeps with a couple guys.
the one she brings into her friend's apartment.
Into the friend's
that's
nursery.
Yeah. Ooh. So that was kind of like, I'm not a big fan of that, where they show like
See, but they did a better job in this movie than they do in most, and I understand what you're talking about. Like that,
well,
that is a
because,
massive trope. But they did a better job because she did try to have sex with him.
Yeah.
A couple times.
It wasn't just like
It wasn't a
she met a guy and then was immediately like, I don't do that anymore.
I'm not going to try to sleep with you. Like, nah.
No,
Homegirl was trying to get something.
To hit it.
She was trying to get into his house the first night.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not taking you to my house.
I haven't found one yet to haunt.
Yeah. No, except for that was his apartment to haunt.
He's like, oh, realtor's in there right now. We can't go.
We can't go to my place.
So, which... There are a few questions I have around that then.
I have many.
One is, Tom's kind of a dick to be leading her on like that for such a long time. Like,
well, and I don't think he was trying to lead her on at first. Like, he's not nice to her for a minute. Like, he's nice to her once, and then he realizes who she is, and then he's not fucking nice. That next time they meet, when she's like, oh, you were looking for me. And he's like, no, I wasn't. And then takes her to the homeless shelter and is like, go get in fucking line with your people. And she's like, wait, what the fuck? And he's like, you said you were homeless. Get in line with the homeless people. Like, he's not nice.
Once he took her ice skating, though, at that point, then he was definitely trying to.
Yeah, because he says it's about romance, and like if he had just been like, hey, I'm trying to help you, like, hey, this is you wanted to get better, but he said certain things to be like, you're trying now, buddy.
You're kind of jerk.
Also, one thing that always bugs me in movies is when people walk into a building and just flip one giant main switch and all of the lights come on. 0% of buildings are lit that way.
Yeah, I was
especially
gonna say,
old
my
ones
work,
like
you gotta,
that.
You gotta flip like 20 switches to get all the lights on.
It's like I want to watch a movie where somebody like opens the breaker and just like does the full like flat arm against it and just like shifts 15 at a time.
Yeah. Also, that's not how lights work in most buildings. Most of the time, you don't flip your breakers, guys. You just like
you turn them off.
You just turn on a light switch.
And like at no point do you ever just shut off the entire main power. Because then nothing, your security system is fucked.
I would say, and most of the time, especially if you have security, like you have perimeter lights that are on all the time.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be dark in there when they wandered in because that security guard clearly is like watching stuff.
Yeah. So like when they just walk in and he's like flips and it's a great visual, I guess, but like just flipping the giant lever and the lights coming on.
Also,
like,
what was that security guard doing for like
the half hour that she was in there?
Yeah, like what was he doing? Like, is it a big megaplex and he's like watching security? He's like nothing. Oh, hey, there's a chica in there.
Well,
what's she doing?
It's a second floor ice rink, which I don't think is a thing because that's fucking heavy. That's a lot of weight to be putting on one thing. I don't think you can fit an entire ice rink on a second floor. No. I wouldn't do that on a building.
I wouldn't do that.
Definitely wouldn't.
Especially not an old downtown London or old town London building.
Nope.
My other question is, how did she get into his apartment when they went there that first time? Because did she have a key?
He did. He used his ghost key.
Yeah, so here's my thing. I think the phone stays locked in the cupboard because he can't grab it. He can't interact with it.
Yeah.
But how did he open the door?
With his ghost hands.
I know, but his ghost hands can't open a cupboard to get to a phone, but it can...
Because, like...
Open a locked apartment.
Also, I am calling massive bullshit that in that year, possibly, that he was dead, nobody opened up the fucking cupboard and found his cell phone.
Right.
Like, no, that place would have been cleaned from top to bottom. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Also, is that all of his shit that's
That's
in
just
there?
all still his stuff.
Is that his shit? Or is it somebody came in and staged it? Because if somebody came in and staged it, they literally put plates behind that cell phone.
Yeah.
And if not, then why has none of his family come to get any of his shit?
He doesn't have family.
Says who?
All of his
Says
shit in the
me
apartment.
right now.
All of the shit is still in this apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there could be a case to be made that the ghost surprise ending was a not original thing. Like maybe they
Was
were
a
just
complete ass pull.
Yeah.
because like there's those kinds of like, then you're like, wait a minute, how did she get into his apartment? Why was he like? He knew he was now. If he didn't know it, if it had been a thing
Where he didn't know he
where
was
he
a ghost.
didn't, yeah, and they both found out at that moment at the same time, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
And then that would I think that would work a little bit better. But like her getting in, like it's because it's shown that you have to have the outside key for his apartment and his inside key. So like she just found two of his keys somehow and got into the building.
Yeah.
Like because they show flashbacks of her like by herself. When she thought she was with him when they're just out and about, but that was not one of the ones that they showed. the machinations of
I just like my brain like sideways shifted over to Fight Club, and I'm like, how did they explain some of that shit too?
Yeah.
It's like, man.
So the probably least egregious thing that this movie does, but kind of bugged me almost the most, and it's for a ridiculous reason, but this movie didn't have enough extras, so the realtor shows up at the very end at the event at the homeless shelter, and he's sitting in the second row
right on the aisle.
Oh,
like
shit, he was.
with his partner.
Yeah.
And it's like, why the fuck is that guy here?
She got to know him afterwards, because why not?
Like he wasn't. He did some bad reaction shots too. Like he was way over.
He was
so
way too
excited
into
about
it.
everything that happened.
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, buddy, pull it back to an 11."
Yeah.
She got to really know him in those 2 weeks.
Sure, I guess.
Also, 2 weeks later, and she's like calm with this and comfortable and like
She's fine with the fact she just made out and tried to have sex with a ghost.
I mean, she gets over
not just
pretty
a
quick.
ghost, like her heart.
Yeah.
The guy who owned her heart first, like it's kind of, yeah. She like. You want to talk about a quick turnaround? That was a quick turnaround. And not only then, but to be making eyes with the dude at the homeless, and that's how I also knew that Harry Golding was not a real dude, because if he was a real dude,
that other guy.
they would not be setting up another guy.
Yeah. Which we don't see happen in the movie.
Not that late in the movie. They wouldn't have set him up.
Yeah.
They could have, if they had set him up in the beginning, like it would have been a different thing, but to have it be so late in the movie, there's no fucking way.
Which is why I think we don't see anything happen in the movie.
Yeah.
With
Which
him.
that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I know, I like a little mystery. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
But-
really the happy ending in this was her being comfortable
Yeah.
Just
in her own skin again.
Yeah.
And then they just give each other the eyes at the end there when she's singing Last Christmas, for which they play Last Christmas at 8 times, like literally
Fuck,
8
I don't know.
times.
The Christmas Gibbon sings it. One of the
almost all of the
electro
ornaments.
pop, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I definitely thought she was going to say it was a nativity totem pole, because it looked like a nativity totem pole.
Yeah.
And then they sing like 2/3 of it at the end, which I went on for. I was like, we've heard this. Okay.
Like, we get it. This is the song you're. Yeah, we understand. What you're doing.
Instead
This is
of
the
maybe
thing.
singing that one at the very end, you should have sang "All I Want for Christmas Is You."
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't think that's it. She did do her own singing for it though. That's cool.
Yeah, she
Oh,
did.
did she?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She
Good
did.
for you, Emilia Clarke.
You can kind of tell that she did. I'm not actually a singer, singing
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
She tried.
Yeah, like she didn't do bad, but she did like I would put her.
She countrified it Last Christmas for like a couple bars. Did you guys hear that? Like,
When the parts where she would have to like sustain a note,
She got
just
twangy
I'm just
a little
gonna
bit.
twang it up a little bit.
She got twangy just a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, countrifying it. All right, cool. You're in London."
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, if Keith Urban can do it, London can do it too.
I thought. I don't think we mentioned that Michelle Yeoh is in this, but I think she is really good.
I liked her character.
I liked her
a lot.
character a lot.
I
yeah.
liked the character arc and the relationship arc between the two of them a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I think that was a really important, because you see her with, well, I'm not going to remember any of these goddamn characters' names except for she's Kate and his name was Tom.
Tom.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Kate
so
and Tom.
You see her, like, her relationship changing with Tom, and that's cool. But what I think was even better is you got to see other relationships changing, and her and Santa's relationship changing was, I think, one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
I loved the subtle nod to sister being a lesbian in the beginning, as if it was gonna, and then like the big like shocker later when she reveals it is like we were all gonna be surprised. Like,
Yeah.
There's no way you didn't catch sister making eyes with that other
choir
little
girl.
girl.
The dad definitely caught it at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Also, I'm gonna go with false. Falsity, false. That they got to be that age and she hadn't come out to her parents yet. When dad caught her making eyes at like 13 with another girl.
I mean, there's a difference between coming out to your parents and your parents just not accepting it, which I think is what they were kind of playing up the mom to be. Just like so old country-ish that just like even trying to say it to her would like just go
Except
over
for
her head.
when Kate dropped the bomb, mom very much heard it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand what you're trying to say. Maybe that's what they were trying to go with, but then they did not play it right. Because if that's what it was going, she would have been like, no, that's just her roommate. No big deal.
I mean, she literally says that in the movie.
Yeah, but she says it in a flabbergasted, like, questioning way, not as a I'm telling you way.
Oh, well. Yeah. I mean, this movie isn't exactly all like coming up
airtight.
aces on every single thing, so
I know.
I did like the family relationship, other than that one scene, which was kind of like the big blow up scene at the end of Act 2.
It was, because that was cringy.
Yeah, but like I really liked the rest of it. Like all the parts where they're getting along, I thought were really good. And
That scene was cringy for more than one reason. The sister's reaction, like the sister's attitude towards her was like, we hadn't built enough, we hadn't seen enough resentment between the two of them for that to feel natural.
yeah.
That the parents would be okay with them talking to each other, that they would talk to each other. Like, it should have been subtler, more snipey, but it was like all out just bitch. Like, she was just a flat out bitch to
like
her.
they were just like they were going for blood.
Yeah, and I was
It's like, oh, okay.
that's not how, like, with parents like that, that's not how you communicate as siblings. So that didn't feel like a sibling relationship at the time. Later it did. Like, when she was apologizing and her being like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And, like, the other scenes, but that particular scene did not feel like a sibling relationship.
yeah, why did they have that scene at the beginning
What scene?
where she's singing in the church?
To show you that she was somebody special. It set up that she was a bright star, that she was gonna go places with her talent. It was gonna show that she was clearly mom's favorite, and that mom really liked her getting the attention. It also set up sister being a lesbian.
I think that they should have set up her being resentful at that point too.
Yeah,
Because she's kind of just giving eyes to the other girl in the choir, but other than that, like, she's just kind of there.
sitting there. Yeah,
Like, if
Yeah.
she had been like
picking
more,
at her nails a little
yeah.
bit.
But if she had been like more resentful and then had made eyes with the girl, and then that had changed, it might have set it up. But yeah, like her being resentful is just like out of nowhere,
out of fucking nowhere,
and you're just like, whoa, we're going hard now. But you don't. There's no setup about why that is really.
Yeah.
Like, other than having to, like, in the movie, her resentment is just having to talk to the mom more often. Mm-hmm. It's like
and then it goes from that to full on like, you should have died.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, that's what I'm saying. Like, that part didn't feel like the call your mother. Like, that feels
like sibling. Yeah.
Like, stop. Just call mom, because then she'll stop fucking calling me.
Yeah.
And her being like, you avoiding her calls is inconveniencing my life, is 100% something siblings would say to each other. But then, to go,
then it
went from 0 to fucking 60 real fast.
Just immediately went from, well, it wasn't my dream, mother. It was your dream.
I was like, the hell?
What?
And I mean, I don't have immigrant parents, so I can't say that, like, because that is a real thing that, like, okay. Shove it, you tense. It's coming down.
Yeah, and like, he was 3 when he came over here.
It's a
like,
really big. Normally, it's a big Asian American children will tell you that their parents are like that. That will push certain things on them. But it would also make sense from former. So they kept saying former Yugoslavia, which is now what?
Not Yugoslavia anymore.
Well, yeah, I know Yugoslavia doesn't exist, because
which is why it's former Yugoslavia.
Yeah, because they say something again later about a different country, and I'm like, wait, what did Yugoslavia become again?
Yeah, I honestly,
I don't remember, because the USSR kind of just like shattered, and it created a bunch of stuff, and then it also then again shattered. Are you looking it up right now, Josh?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
doing a quick Google.
Yeah, so it's like I could see coming from Yugoslavia to England. Yeah, I definitely thought they were going to do more with the Brexit thing.
No, that was just there
for her to.
That was just a very like small part of her redemption.
Yeah, because she just isn't accepting any part of herself.
Yeah,
and that's part of herself.
And so, like running into that couple on the bus, and then like talking to them in their native.
Yeah, I also think it was a quick turnabout with the relationship with the mom, Kate's relationship with her mom, because there was more, like, Kate pretty much was like, fuck it, I forgive you. And it's like, what? Like, that's not actually really how that goes all the time.
All right, this is real fucking complicated here.
Oh, okay, I love complicated.
I mean, a war was involved, so that's not a shocker.
So there's a whole bunch. There's like a whole bunch of shit. It was dissolved in 1992.
Did it become a bunch of countries?
But then in June, I'm just going to read this here because there's so much I can't. There's too much to parse out. But in June 2006, Montenegro became an independent nation after the results of a May 2006 referendum, therefore rendering Serbia and Montenegro no longer existent. After Montenegro's independence, Serbia became a legal successor of Serbia and Montenegro, while Montenegro applied for membership in international organizations. In February 2008, the Republic of Kosovo declared independence from Serbia, leading to an ongoing dispute on whether Kosovo is a legally recognized state. Kosovo is not a member of the United Nations, but 115 states, including the United States and various members of the EU, have recognized Kosovo as a sovereign state. So I guess...
What about Yugoslavia, though?
So I guess it's being split with Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Slovenia.
So lots of countries. It became lots of countries.
I guess they just broke it up into a bunch of different...
Yeah. I was going to say, because I know that when the USSR broke up, it shattered into a lot of pieces.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch. There's a lot. It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Yeah. But you said...
World politics.
You just said 1992?
Yeah. Oh, so I think that is what like the Kosovo and all that stuff was with Slobodan Milosevic.
Okay.
And all that stuff was. I guess that was around that time.
Okay. Because like the beginning of this movie says Yugoslavia 1999.
Yeah. I don't know. The only thing I know about Yugoslavia is from Drowning Mona.
Yugoslavia dissolved in 1992. And did it say 1998?
It said 1999.
Or did it say 1989?
Nope.
It was 99. Because that would have made
26.
Yeah.
26.
Which I called, I don't know. How old is Emilia Clarke? I guess this would be 2 years ago because for some reason they made this a period piece.
Yeah. Because heart ghosts aren't a thing anymore.
So she would have been born in 1991. So she was 8?
Wait.
In that...
2017. Mass.
I did the math already. She would have been born in 1991.
She was not 8 years old in that.
Singing.
She looked 12.
At least.
Yeah, but apparently she was supposed to be 8.
Okay.
It's
She
2017.
was a real tall 8-year-old.
Minus 26 is 1991. By the way, short girls tend to do that, actually. A lot of times, short girls are the tall girls when they're 8 to 12, and then they just stop growing, and
But she
everybody
wasn't.
else
She was
starts
only
growing.
8.
Yeah.
I was tall at 8. My whole 5'2" now shows you how good that got me.
But counterpoint, were you 14 when you were 8?
Counterpoint, no, but I
Well,
did
let's see.
possibly look 14 when I was 8. I developed early, and I was tall.
Yeah.
I want to.
You're welcome, everybody. If you haven't checked out my Instagram, by the way.
Yeah.
See, the problem with, and I know why they don't. I know why they don't do it. But trying to find out the ages of child actors isn't easy sometimes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Which I'm on the one hand I'm okay with, but trying to figure out how the time things work is like.
So the Kosovo War, by the way, was in 98 to 99.
Yeah.
So that's probably
Oh,
the war
okay.
that her parents were talking about.
So almost immediately after that scene is when they probably had to flee.
Yeah, but there was also the 2001 insurgency. So that might have been what got him kicked out.
But at any rate,
There was
it
a lot
wasn't.
of shit that went around that time.
Yeah.
But in 1999,
It was
wasn't,
not Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Which is the confusing thing.
Yeah.
Hey, any listeners in former Yugoslavia, let us know. In 1999, what was
your country
What
called?
was your country called?
Also, did you drive what's the car in Drowning
The
Mona?
Yugo.
The Yugo.
Yeah.
We gotta do that movie sometime. I love that movie.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh boy, this movie though. Oof.
This is one of those few movies where when I walked out of it, my first thought was, "What the actual fuck did I just watch?" Because it's literally out of like if you haven't seen like The Sixth Sense, so you know like if a character doesn't talk to another character other than the main character, then it's probably a ghost.
It's a red flag.
Red flag. Like him being a ghost is really out of left field.
Yeah. Like it seemed, again, maybe I'm just the perfect mark for shit like this, but it really seemed like Heather was saying that he was going to be some sort of like addict, or I thought he was going to be the one who was homeless because he's always wearing the same outfit.
Except, well, that's the other confusing thing is like there are 2 times when he's not. So most of the time he's wearing his gray T-shirt, his
hoodie, and then the trench coat.
Yeah, but when he goes to help her clean up the what's it, Yuletide?
Yeah.
He's wearing like a purple sweater.
Was he?
Yeah, which is why I was like, well, I guess that's a point against him being a ghost because you would think he wouldn't change his outfit, but like he's in like a long sleeve, like he's in like a dark colored because everything's light colored.
Yeah.
When he's riding
it's
his
all, like,
bike when he
tans and
got
grays.
hit, but then like he's wearing like a dark, which looked to me to be purple. In that scene, so I was like, well, I guess he's not a ghost if they're changing his outfits every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. They fooled me.
They fool you.
He put on a different ghost shirt.
Which, I mean, they shouldn't have tried to fool us.
Yeah.
I feel like they were trying to give you very, 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 very subtle hints that something was up. And like, you don't need to give us like they shouldn't be very, 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 very subtle. Like, let them be okay.
See, that would have been a good through line for your spy thing when she's like knocking on the door and is like, "Is the KGB? Let me in."
Yeah.
And then like having him be a spy.
Because like the mom takes that very seriously.
Yeah.
So it's like that would be, and like Paul Feig did spy with Melissa McCarthy, and he did go like he's done like big action stuff before. So like, is this going to be like a rom-com for the first 3/4, and like the last 20 minutes is
Fucking
gonna be
spy
balls to the wall
movies.
action spy movie shit
Yeah.
where Emilia Clarke has to like beat him up. I kind of want to see that movie though.
Give me that movie.
I'm about that one now.
Where it just turns into Mr. and Mrs. Smith for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck yes.
Everybody delete this last like 3 minutes from your memories because
We're writing a movie.
We're writing a movie.
we're writing Next Christmas or what's in
Yeah,
Next Christmas.
next Christmas.
Or we're gonna write All I Want for Christmas Is You based around the Mariah Carey. We're gonna do a Mariah Carey Christmas album
Nice.
movie, but then at the end it's gonna be we're gonna bring in the
Full on.
Daft Punk soundtrack, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be
It's going to be Daft Punk singing All I Want Is You for Christmas.
yeah.
I'm about it.
Jesus Christ, though.
That
You know
Like,
what though? For as weird as this movie, so I keep going wishy washy because I was like you, Josh. I walked out of this movie and I was like, I feel so fucking weird right now. Like, I don't know if I was disappointed. I don't know if I felt like they done me dirty, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that wasn't a bad movie. And while there are some weird parts that don't make sense, it also was still a good movie.
it wasn't boring. Like
It wasn't boring.
Yeah.
So
It
I
wasn't
think
boring.
like
It wasn't super cliche because, like, once they did the heart part too, I was like, oh, it's gonna be his dead wife's heart. It's gonna be something, and something. No, like it was his heart, and I was just like, Scott, this is different than any other thing I've ever seen. Like, so they did find a very unique new thing.
Except not, because as we were driving home,
But we couldn't name a movie that did this exact thing. They did things like it. So Return to Me, it was the guy's wife's heart that went into her. You know,
like nobody's a ghost in that movie. It's just like Minnie Driver got his dead wife's heart in a transplant, and then
Yeah.
like he started
just
dating
getting her
her.
memories. I think
Does
or
she?
something.
no,
Like,
he just he wants to meet her and he wants to get to know her, and then
Yeah.
they fall in love.
And then there's Just Like Heaven.
Just like Heaven.
Just Like Heaven, where she's in a coma.
and he moves into her apartment and he can see her ghost because
Yeah.
he's in her apartment. So we thought of things that were similar, but
And then-
nothing that has had this exact
Yeah,
twist.
yeah. And then there's
Sorry, Hallmark, if you have a movie out there that we do not know about.
I don't know if it's Hallmark or ABC Family or but somebody made a Christmas ghost movie.
Netflix.
Netflix made it.
I think it's Netflix. Where she falls in love with a ghost, a guy who died in his house years and years and years and years and years ago,
Yeah.
and she's trying to sell the house, and her and him fall in love. Which I don't know how that one resolves because I've yet to watch that one
was
because
gonna say,
it's
I
just
feel like-
so bad that
I feel like we need to see how that plays out because
Yeah.
but that one that movie gives you everything up front.
I don't know because we haven't watched it.
That's true.
Which
it
one?
gives you
I was-
Christmas Ghost.
Christmas Ghost.
Oh.
So we probably know he's a ghost, but she doesn't. But you're right that it does give it up front. I think because at this point it has to because it's called like Christmas Ghost or something. It's literally in like
literally called-
the blurb
Yeah.
about the movie.
and then there's also a spoiler alert for Nicholas Sparks' movie. If anybody cares, Safe Haven, where
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Josh Duhamel.
Is he a ghost?
No, it's the woman from those terrible Ayn Rand movies, Atlas Shrugged things. But she moves to a new town, and she meets Kobe Smulders, who spends the entire movie trying to get her and Josh Duhamel together. And at the end, it turns out that Kobe Smulders is Josh Duhamel's ghost wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kobe Smulders. No.
Kobe
First of all,
But I also want to shout out a movie called The Secret, starring David Duchovny, Lily Taylor, and Olivia Thirlby, where
You're telling us about this.
yeah, Lily Taylor and Olivia Thirlby are in some kind of accident or something. Lily Taylor and Olivia Thirlby die, but then Lily Taylor's spirit goes into Olivia Thirlby's body, and then spends the rest of the movie trying to get down with David Duchovny.
oh no. Wait a minute. Wait a
Ick.
minute. Refresh my beer. What is the two of their relationship?
Their parent and daughter.
Okay.
They're all related. Yeah.
Which one goes into which body?
The mother goes into the daughter's body.
And then the daughter
Tries to get with David Duchovny.
Yeah.
Who is not her dad, right?
No, he is.
No!
Yeah.
Fucking no!
Shout out to How Did This Get Made, the podcast where I listened to them talking about this, and it's everyone was as
my
horrified
God.
as you should be talking about. Like, I kind of want to see it though, just to see how terrible it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called The Spirit of Christmas, by the way. The Christmas ghost movie is called The Spirit of
okay.
Christmas.
I thought it was just called The Christmas Ghost because,
And
like,
it's a young lawyer finds romance with the spirit that takes the form of a human 12 days before Christmas.
I think what all of these things have in common, though, is that they aren't wide release films, whereas this is, except for maybe Return to Me and the other one that you mentioned.
the other one that I mentioned.
Just like Heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Because
yes,
that
yes,
was
yes.
Reese Witherspoon and Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
I have the hiccups. I'm so
Like,
sorry.
other than those two, like, this is a very much
Like a niche
a Hallmark
release,
original
like, yeah.
that somehow got. I'm gonna say it again. I think I said it during the spoiler free part. Give Emilia Clarke more parts because she's not in
Yeah.
enough stuff.
So sorry. The hiccups. Get both of them more parts.
Yeah.
I really like them both. A lot.
Also,
I would like them in another movie together. I think they were an adorable couple. So sorry, hiccups.
Also, in reference to the spoiler-free portion of this podcast, I very narrowly stopped myself from saying the phrase "give up the ghost" in regards to this movie, and I very quickly had to don't do the.
Okay, I just want to call bullshit again on this movie real quick.
Yeah.
Emilia Clarke was born in 1986, so 2 years ago she was not 26 years old. That's what I say.
No, that is not.
She could pass for one though.
So I'm not gonna. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
Born in when?
1986.
Damn,
She's
I'm younger
than you.
I was gonna say I'm younger than Emilia Clarke.
I'm not, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did
she's
not
only
know
been
that.
in 21 things. That's a crime.
That's a shame.
Let's see. Oh yeah, she was in Solo.
Yeah.
Underused
She
in
was
Solo.
great.
I keep
She was great
forgetting.
in Solo,
She was
though.
good in that. Not in it enough.
Yeah.
She was not. Yeah, no. She was, like you said, underused. But when she was there, she commanded that screen.
She was in Robot Chicken for an episode.
Nice.
Futurama. Interesting.
Interesting.
Was she in Future?
Just some random. It looks like a lot of these were from getting Game of
one-offs.
Thrones. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in a TV movie called Triassic Attack.
That is now going to be a future episode.
It's on the list. She only has a couple of things on the slate coming up. Yeah, so like,
Yeah, I only see 2 upcoming projects.
yeah, so
Let me count the ways.
people, get on that Clarke train.
Get on the Clarke train.
Ooh, that sounds good. I'm gonna watch that one.
Which one?
Which one you got?
Let me count the ways. Weakened by a mysterious illness, Elizabeth Barrett lives as a virtual recluse in London until fellow poet Robert Browning begins to court her against her father's will. Ooh. And then she's also, a man tries to stay connected to a woman he loves after waking up in a different person's body every day.
They just did this
The
movie.
beauty inside. Oh yeah, well now they're doing it with Emilia
What
Clarke.
was that? The Other A or something like that? The Other... It was like a YA movie that came out like 2 years ago.
I know what you're talking about though.
The character's name was A, I want to say.
I don't know.
But it was the
sounds
same thing
familiar.
where it was just somebody that kept waking up in someone else's body. So yeah,
So
Last Christmas.
Last Christmas.
Played probably 3 too many times throughout
Yes.
the film. I could have done with a little bit less of that particular song.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I'm probably never going to listen to anything on the soundtrack outside of this movie, but I think it worked in the movie really well.
Yeah, I would say so.
Like, I'm not a huge George Michael guy, but
Yeah, not really.
well, like in the movie, it worked really well.
Yeah. Like George Michael is one of those like artists where like I will definitely not seek it out, but if it's just happening, I'm not mad about it.
Unless you've heard Last Christmas for the 10,000th time when you retail job.
Yeah.
Other than at the end when the realtor guy just cranks it up to 15
God
his
damn.
performance, I think all the rest of the performances are really good.
Mm-hmm.
The directing, other than that one scene where they're doing the flashbacks over top of her being sad,
So is the
it wasn't too bad, but
the flashbacks
yeah.
where it's flashing to her remembering like being in the hospital, is him heart having flashbacks and showing her the flashbacks of him getting hit by a bus and then taken to the hospital? Is he like ghost flashback projecting her so that she's getting like multiple flashbacks? Is that what's going on there, or is that
don't
only
know.
for us?
It's probably just for us. Also, so like in the movie, he gets murked by a moving truck because he's looking at a bus.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was a moving truck. Yeah.
But like his whole thing, and it's kind of it's another dick move. His whole thing throughout the whole. I'm not sure why, but his catchphrase is "look up."
Which
Throughout the
looking
movie.
up wouldn't have saved his life.
Yeah, and also looking up, literally, he makes her trip over garbage at one point, and like fall. So like, was he trying to kill her? Was he hoping to escape this mortal plane by killing off the heart for good? Because like, he keeps telling her to look up, and like a bird shits in her eye. She trips over garbage, and it's not like it wouldn't have helped him at all. And like. Also, he goes on that rant against phones, and like, but that wasn't what, like, him looking at his phone wasn't distracted him and killed him.
Yeah.
So it's like that didn't.
So it seems like they wrote again, like somebody wrote most of this movie, and then like B team came in and wrote the last 15 minutes, and they were like, oh, he doesn't like phones and is constantly telling people to look up. That's not important. He'll just get hit by a truck.
Because he got distracted by a bus.
A bus
That's
accident.
in a lateral view of him and has nothing to do with like he didn't die because he was
looking
like
down.
looking down at his phone and something happened.
Yeah.
If
Which is
that
what
had been the thing that killed him.
Which is what I would have expected at this
Yeah.
point.
Like if that had been the thing that killed him, it would have been much more of like a narrative through line.
Yeah.
But this movie forgets about his catchphrase.
Except it's on the bench, but that's pretty much the only.
Yeah. And the thing, the movie, no.
Also, you don't need his cell phone there. You can just have the realtor say that the owner died a year ago. Like,
Yeah, because she's like, oh, he's selling it, and he's like, who are you talking about? Oh, the guy who lives here. Nobody
He's
lives
been dead
here.
for a
He could
year.
have just said no. Yeah, nobody's lived here for the past couple months. Like the last owner died a year ago. You didn't need the phone.
yeah. So that was confusing. Also,
I think that was meant to be like, because she holds it and then has the flashbacks, like it's the physical like totem of his
I
being.
guess.
Maybe.
I mean, she also has his heart, so I think that's
Or was it the last little bit of like, we're tricking you, now we'll just tell you everything.
Yeah.
maybe.
Also, the movie really wanted to do it, and I'm really glad they didn't, but it looked like in that last scene with him in the park, like he was green screened in, and they were gonna have him just like ghost out on
like
screen.
the snow started doing weird stuff around him. And I was like, oh no, is he gonna blow away right now? Fuck me. But then he just walks away.
He just walks away, and I was like, oh, thank God.
That would have pushed it into like hilarious land, which I don't know if that's better or worse, honestly.
I don't know, but I was really scared for a minute there that they were
like,
gonna do it.
Cause like, yeah, he like goes like the color thing. His color doesn't match the rest of the scene all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like there's like weird artifacts of snow around. Like the snow doesn't match around him.
And I was like, please, God, don't fucking do it.
Or he like starts like walking up invisible stairs into the sky.
Oh God.
Just walks into a white light.
So
Jesus.
speaking of walking into stairs in the sky and being corny, I could have had roll credits on the blackout from them dancing at like the was it Christmas or was it a birthday party that they had at the end?
Because it was a lesbian pudding.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, it was Christmas.
But they were wearing like birthday crowns.
No. That's an English thing. Those
it?
are those are
Fucking
from
Brits, man.
Those are from the Christmas crackers. You open up your Christmas cracker and inside are your Christmas crowns.
Yeah.
That's
And
crackers, all right. A bunch of crackers.
First off, watch more fucking movies. Watch Love Actually like once.
No.
And,
I'm
and secondly, the sister's girlfriend literally says Christmas tiramisu.
yeah.
Yeah.
The crowns threw me off. I was like, "What day is this?"
No, it's like
It's a tradition.
Yeah.
They also do the one where you find the baby in the cake, the baby Jesus in the cake. What is that called?
yeah. Let's find the baby
Oh.
Jesus in the cake game.
So one other thing I wanted to throw out real quick: some of the cameos that they.
So many cameos. Patti LuPone.
Patti
What?
LuPone was the first one.
Yeah.
She's the one trying to
With
buy
the
the
two
baby
Jesuses.
Jesus. Yeah, the two
Holy
baby Jesuses.
fuck, that was Patti LuPone.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, this was
Jesus
fucking Patti
Christ.
LuPone.
You had Rob Delaney from that Amazon show that I have not seen of, but he's like a stand-up guy that lives in England that I've seen a bunch of the place. Peter Serafinowicz is in there in that same scene, and
Like, oh my
then
God.
Sue Perkins is another judge.
Yeah,
of,
super.
their casting director.
Like,
So,
oh,
I know.
Sue.
We both were like,
So yeah, shout out to those. But I could have done without the scene of where it like flashes forward another like 4 months, and she's like sitting in the park, and it's springtime.
Oh,
And then she looks up into the sky,
and her
then,
hair's cut.
and then like it slowly pulls back into the sky, and then it cuts. I was like, I didn't need that scene.
Like we, like
I mean, I guess if she looks up, so like closes the book on that thread, but
I
by that point it
guess.
didn't
It
really
didn't matter.
because he was a ghost. He was a heart ghost at that point.
just that was super unnecessary and like.
But I guess one more chance to look at.
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke.
And it's not the worst thing in the world.
She had there's a lot of smiling going on in this movie, and it warmed my heart every time.
That's fair.
Every time.
Every time.
She like a lot of celebrities can smile, but like not all of them can like make you feel warm and cozy inside,
Yeah.
and that's what. So I think we've been talking about this movie for almost as long as the movie is.
Pretty much.
I am going to say I think this movie might defy the Clooney scale. Like I wouldn't even know where to begin. Even on my loose
Slightly, you didn't even see the movie. No opinions.
No opinions up here.
my sliding scale that slides wherever I need it to for any individual. Like
There is no you just
This-
has to slide all
right
the
off.
way.
slid right off the gradient,
Yeah.
and it's clattering down the rocky embankment. So
It is sliding through the snow and ghosting off a screen right before your eyes.
So I'm not gonna. Does anybody have any Clooney's that they?
I'm just gonna say 6 Clooney's.
I was gonna say 6 Clooney's too.
Like
That's what I was thinking, but I was also thinking
it's
like
a solid movie. It's got some issues. It's got a weird fucking twist that makes you like. This is why I said I just watch it so you can talk about it, because like
yeah.
the main like, and I don't know if it's a good thing about this movie or if it's a bad thing about the movie, but it's like it's a kind of a brain fuck, and you kind of just have to talk about it
well,
afterwards.
because the problem is like the twist undoes so much of the movie's own logic.
Yeah, I think that it's a good conversational piece. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's a good movie, but I know it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
There were no racist scenes.
Yeah.
This is true. I mean,
There
except
was
for the scene
there was
of an
a
actual racist.
There was a racist being racist, but
That
there's
was
no scenes where
xenophobia.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah,
it's xenophobia, but there's no
Split hairs
there's
here.
the movie's not racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's,
The movie doesn't play into just being like, let's just be
the
racist for a
dialogue,
second.
There was the dialogue wasn't bad.
No.
Her frying the fucking fish was a shorter scene than I thought it was going to be. But also hilarious still.
The
Catching the fucking ship, the model ship on fire. That fucking 30 seconds of that ship being on fire was hilarious. I liked her returning gifts too, of like getting the friend whose lionfish she killed. She got the fucking goldfish.
The relationship between Santa and the mysterious benefactor, I liked
gross
that.
And creepy. He's a Dane apparently, because when you look him up and it says the Dane/boy.
Oh, is he? Because like his completely impronounceable name.
I also really was like, I thought when he walked in and the way he looked at Santa and like Santa freaking out, I definitely didn't think they were going to be strangers. I thought it was going to be like Santa's ex-husband or like long lost love.
I knew it was
like
going to be one of those things where it's like admirer, like kind of thing where he just like holds up the random thing and it's
almost creepy at first.
Yeah. I think that is like purposefully like turned up to 11 just because to really just like add into the like humor factor of it.
It was cute. I liked it.
Yeah, but like nothing. It felt funny, but not like, oh god, here we go again with these two. But like it felt like enough that I was like, I'm about it.
And it felt good. Like it was funny and icky, and I liked it, but it was like that. Like, okay. Y'all need to stop making out in public, kind of icky. Like,
yeah, like okay, mom and dad, just go bang it out and then like, go somewhere else,
like,
please.
Singing. What song did he start? What Christmas song did he start singing to her?
Oh, I believe it was White Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like gross. Stop it.
Stop.
But also, you're adorable, so don't fucking stop.
Yeah.
You're gross because you're too cute. Like, ugh.
I'm getting embarrassed for you.
I'll give it 6 Clooney's too, I think, just based on performances.
There's some weird shit in it, but like it was solidly acted. Again, Henry Golding had some issues with over directing possibly. I don't know.
You're sad, you're happy. Now you're kind of angry. You kind of want to murder her, but you're also happy.
To have the main act, Emilia Clarke is a great actress. She's great. And there was not a minute where I was confused on what her emotions were. There was not a minute where I felt like she acted the inappropriate emotion. It didn't feel overacted, which sometimes these movies where they could become real shitty can be overacted. It's what makes them. It's what makes those lovely D-lister Hallmark movies I love so much so bad is they get really overacted. I mean, It was solid performances from the entire team, and I think thought it had some good dialogue. I thought it has a very interesting story. I just wish that Scotch tape putting those two movies together didn't exist.
Yeah,
I wish they had just finished the first movie they were making.
I think that's a good place to leave it off for this episode.
I think so. I think it's so as like a 6 generally would say is a recommend.
I would say, like I said before in the spoiler-free portion of this, is if you're going to see it, try to see it as a matinee.
Yeah.
So that you're not paying full theater prices for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if you can't go to do a matinee, I would probably still go see it. I don't feel like I want my money back.
No,
I definitely feel like I got entertained for the entire time I was there. But if you can't afford to go to a theater, definitely rent it.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch it in some capacity.
And it's definitely a group activity movie.
Yeah.
If you're having like a friends gathering around Christmas time, I feel like this is a good one to everyone comes around, enjoys an hour and 20 minutes of a good Christmas romance movie, and then everyone starts busting out laughing when you find out there's a heart ghost.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Or your family. Honestly, you got a good relationship with your family. This would be a good one to watch.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a lesbian sister still in the closet and you're helping her try to get out of it. Show her this movie.
This was, I think, the first time that I've been in a theater and like the credits rolled and I wanted to look to the stranger next to me and just be like, what did you think of that?
Yeah, we had all three of us had a very hard time, not just like exploding when we got done with this movie, because we were like, go, save it till we're recording, because like we were all gonna have this amount of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Whether we were recording, whether we were running a podcast or not, we were gonna talk for an hour and a half about this damn film.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna get off of here and still talk about it, so we're gonna shut up.
Probably. We'll let you guys get back to your lives of not having just seen this movie.
But if you want to see some more new reviews or reviews of new films for us to do, talk about maybe doing some more than just once a year reviewing a new in theaters movie, consider consider going over to our Patreon page.
Just go and hang out on there.
Hang out on our Patreon. Patreon.com/moistboyspodcast. We're going to be uploading some new stuff over there pretty soon, I think. We got new content coming out all the time. On this feed, our Moist Boys feed, we also have the Action Boys podcast. That is every other week. We have some fun role-playing stuff. We've got new games coming out. We are currently running through a variation on Dungeons and Dragons. And then also we have, for those of you that are subscribed to Disney Plus, which I know there are some of you out there.
Like a couple.
Or
just a few million.
Or if you're on HBO and you are watching His Dark Materials on HBO or BBC, and you are watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, head on over to His Dork Materials, where we are doing episode breakdowns of that. You can also find us on Instagram. If you go to our Instagram, we have a link in our bio that has all of our links to it. There's a Twitch channel, we have a YouTube channel where we put out videos of different various types that may or may not destroy various technology that we have. And if you like what we do here, consider supporting us there, because we like doing this, and hopefully in some capacity you